need surgery performed. I want a well-qualified surgeon to perform it. That's merit, that's competence, that's being well-qualified. If I fly in an airplane, I want to know that there is a well-qualified pilot at the controls. That too is merit understood as competence, capability, matching people's qualifications with the social roles they perform. So it would seem that merit is a good thing. How can it become a kind of tyranny? Well, I'll give you a hint. Merit becomes a kind of tyranny when it becomes a meritocracy in which the successful believe that they have succeeded on their own and that they therefore deserve all of the benefits that the market bestows upon them. Meritocracy becomes a kind of tyranny if it creates a divide between winners and losers. Meritocracy cultivates certain attitudes towards success, harsh attitudes towards success. It leads the successful to forget the role of luck and good fortune. It leads the successful often to forget their indebtedness to those who made their achievements possible. It leads to a kind of hubris, I call it meritocratic hubris, where the winners look down, less successful, less fortunate than themselves. Now, these are controversial ideas, and I don't want to suggest that my answer is the right one, which is why we're going to have a discussion.
안녕하세요. 수원에서 온 강사하고 있는 추예지라고 합니다. 저희도 법과 정치라는 사회 과목의 그런 파트가 있거든요. 그래서 그 파트에서 얘들아, 너네 능력은 사회가 너네가 타고난 것도 있지만 너네가 노력해서 얻은 게 아니라 선천적으로 타고난 거니까 사회가 너한테 준 거고, 그러니까 일종의 공공재로 생각해야 하며, 그러니 부유세를 내는 게 당연하단다라고 가르치면 아이들이 현장에서 거의 대부분의 아이들이 절대로 인정하지 않는 분위기가 큰데, 친구들, 학생들 얘기는 그거예요. 선생님, 제가 혹여나 다른 친구들보다 운이 조금 더 좋아서 기회를 조금 더 쉽게 잡았을 수는 있지만 그 기회를 성공으로 이끈 거는, 그러니까 좋은 성적이나 대입으로 이끈 거는 분명히 제 노력도 있는데 왜 내 걸 나눠줘야 돼? 그게 당연하다는 걸 잘 못 받아들이는 것 같고, 저도 이게 많이 헷갈려서 교수님과 대화를 통해서 좀 알 수 있지 않을까 생각해 봅니다. 능력주의가 정말 정의롭지 않을까요?
Well, it's a very powerful question, Yeji. Thanks for that question. You are suggesting to your students that our talents are gifts rather than our own creation. And your students are challenging you by saying, but what about effort and hard work? We worked very hard to prepare for the college entrance exam, for the Sunnyong. We worked very hard for years. And we went to cram courses, and we stayed up late, and we were deprived of sleep. We worked very hard. We expended a lot of effort. And so if we win admission, if we do well on the exam and win admission, it certainly feels like it's our doing. And even though you as our teacher are telling us that our intellectual talents are gifts for which we are indebted, and even though maybe the students will agree with you that they did not create their intellectual gifts, maybe they'll agree that their parents had a lot to do with encouraging and cultivating them. Maybe they will agree that the society as a whole helped them cultivate the intellectual gifts that enable them to do well on the exams. But they will still say, we worked very hard, didn't we? How can you say that's not our doing? Well, Here's one possible answer, Yeji, but I want you to listen to this answer and tell me whether or not you think it would persuade your students. Maybe it wouldn't. Take the example of a very successful sports star, LeBron James. He's a famous American basketball player. He's known around the world. He makes a lot of money. You know how much money he makes? Something like $40 million a year, maybe more. Now, he practices hard. He practices basketball and has done so from the time he was very young, just as your students have been preparing for the entrance exam since they were very young. LeBron James works very hard. Now, he makes over $40 million. Would we say that LeBron James deserves to make 1,000 times more money than a teacher or than a nurse caring for COVID patients? Because if we go by their salaries, he deserves to make 1,000 times more. But does he? Does he? After all, the teacher works hard. The nurse works hard. And what about this? I could practice basketball day and night, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I would not be as great a basketball player as LeBron James. So that suggests that effort isn't everything. Now, is it LeBron James's doing that he has great athletic gifts, far greater than mine, or is that his good luck? And what about the fact that he lives in a society and at a time when people love basketball and will pay to see it? If LeBron James had lived back in the days of the Renaissance, they didn't care much about basketball back then, nor did they reward it. They cared more about great fresco painters than about basketball players. So that too, living at a time and in a society when his talents are prized and rewarded, that also is not his doing, that's his good luck. What do you think, Yeji, with this reply to your students? Do you think they would be persuaded or maybe not? What do you say?
네, 아마 아마 해봐야 알겠지만 될 것 같습니다. 시대는 생각을 안 해봤네요.
Okay, see what they say. I'll be interested to know how what discussion follows from it. Thank you very much. We have another question now from Nari Park.
네, 안녕하세요, 교수님. 우선 만나 뵈서 정말 반갑고요. 저는 박나리라고 합니다. 제가 생각하기에는 우선 이 주제에 앞서서 능력의 정의부터 제대로 저희가 알고 가야 된다고 생각을 하는데요. 제가 생각하기에는 이 능력이 선천적으로 타고나는 걸 의미한다고 한다면 정의롭지 않다고 생각을 합니다. 하지만 본인의 정말 노력으로 후천적으로 만들어진 능력이라면 정의롭다고 생각을 하는데 교수님께서는 이 능력에 대해서 어떻게 정의를 하고 계신지 궁금합니다.
Well, thank you, Nari. Merit is the fit between the traits, the virtues, the talents, the skills society honors and needs at any given moment, and the qualifications of those who seek various social roles. And so is it possible to acquire merit by working hard, by applying ourselves? Well, up to a point, yes. We've been talking about the Sunyun exam, which is one way, standardized exams are one way we measure merit. and all of the effort that young people devote to perform well on the Sungnyeon, you could say that is an attempt to acquire the merit, the skills, the intellectual ability, the knowledge that the system of university admissions prizes and rewards. So in that sense, yes, we can seek to acquire merit. Now, two people who work equally hard might have very different results, depending on whether they come from a rich family or a poor family, a family that encourages study and learning, and one that's indifferent to study and learning. That will make a big difference in opportunities. Even if the two young people growing up work equally hard. So working hard to acquire merit is not sufficient to winning the prizes, whether it's university admission or a good job or making a lot of money.